Hello, welcome back to our podcast. This is the Blue Chair. So, as you know, we're in the middle of the carnival season. St. Lucia's having their carnival right now, and up next is my country, Antigua's carnival. And this season, we always invite people to come to our islands, experience our culture, eat our food, indulge in the carnival experience. But I do want to speak on something that has been pressing for me and I think a lot of Caribbean people, and that is the appropriation of our culture. Living in America, I have experienced a lot of people, diversing into the different cultures. They want to experience it and whatnot and so forth. But I've also experienced a lot of bashing. They want to enjoy it at peak times when we are having our carnivals, but then on the flip side, when we are talking about it on social media, so we get a lot of backlash that, oh, we are too sexual, this is too much, I would never let my partner do this and that. And I've literally seen people post that, and also people have complained about, dancing or reveling with other people's partners during carnival are not the same people in the carnival. I feel like it's almost contradictory, because if you don't want that, why would you put yourself in the position to be in that? But hey. And also, I've seen it where they have taken our culture, somebody that doesn't know much about it, and profited off of it. So this brought me back to 2020 when someone else from the Caribbean posted, and they said African Americans, a lot of them, not all, are only upset about cultural appropriation when it's a white person stealing or trending something from them, never when they're the one appropriating. Then someone that is African American commented under and said, I just want to know, how do Black African Americans appropriate other cultures, and which cultures? Real question. So a fellow Antiguan commented under that and said, Ioma Beauty released a carnival inspired palette, and Jackie Aina and Patrick Starr wore carnival outfits as a costume to promote it. The issue is that they are wearing my culture as a costume and is accepted by everyone, but from the Caribbean, we've been called strippers and peacocks. She also went on to say, for years we've been called whores. That outfit isn't just a costume to us. We can dress up in it, and it means so much to our people and our history. If a company had someone wearing a traditional Native American headpiece, everyone would be up in arms about it. But AA are basically telling us it's not serious, get over it. She went on to say, no, it's definitely not something new. It's to celebrate our emancipation from slavery. Everyone in the Caribbean got it a different day. That's why we celebrated different days each year. Carnival Nottingham was brought about by the West Indians. Seeing all these negative comments about my culture on the media is very disheartening to my people, evidently. So it makes me wonder, is there any protocol or regulation against this, and how do we monitor and stop this kind of speech? So basically she's saying, like, this is not just a costume, a prop, and especially because they chose to use an African American, and there was comments saying, oh, she's not African American, she's actually Nigerian. She's African American. I looked it up. She's African American. She was her dad is Nigerian, her mom is African American, and she was born here in America. She's African American. So it goes on to say, like, when our culture is being appropriated, when any other culture for that matter is being appropriated by anyone other than African Americans, it's an issue. But when our culture, something that we are celebrating our emancipation from slavery, we are celebrating our culture, our diversity, so many things, and people are just using it as a prop to promote their products, or they're using it as some type of decor, something for aesthetic, rather than using someone of our culture to say, oh, let's use a Caribbean person to show our Caribbean palette, our Caribbean collaboration. They chose not to. They used an African American. If it was the other way around, where they use a white person to show an African American culturally accepted theme, then it would have been an issue. So I find it very hypocritical, especially of African Americans, that they could appropriate our culture for profit and gain, and then when we're upset about it, it's like, oh, get over it, it's not a big deal, we're black too. It's not a matter of black, but it's a matter of culture. It's not a matter of we're the same, biological background. Oh, we're all from Africa, so it doesn't. It's different. African culture is different from Caribbean culture, which is different from African American culture. So for you to say that we are the same people, honestly speaking, everyone is the same, but our culture is different. That's what makes everybody different. That's how we associate ourselves with being Caribbean. We don't associate ourselves with being Africans. It's different for me personally. But there's another case of that where we have Michael B. Jordan, and we're gonna speak on that a little bit. He had a rum called Juve. So even in the unboxing of the rum and the premiere, he speaks about the definition of Juve, and it says, derived from the Antillean Creole French from the meaning daybreak, Juve originated in the pre-dawn streets of Trinidad as celebrations of emancipation combined with carnival season to serve as the festive informal commencement. So basically, Juve is the beginning of our carnival season, our emancipation celebration. So it's kind of like, how can somebody that's never touched Trinidadian soil, that has not participated in Caribbean festivities, now profit off of our emancipation? How are you creating a whole brand off of our culture and profiting? That is so, I feel like that is so, you could have found so many other names, you could have found so many other things, you could have, moonshine, I think that's an American rum or some kind of alcohol. You could have named your brand Moonshine and kept it an African American cultural based thing, but no. This rum is named after Trinidadian Emancipation Festival. Then it goes on to be made in Trinidad, forested in Trinidad. Then it's like, but then no profits is coming to Trinidad. It's going straight to Michael B. So it's just a lot of ways in which I feel like our culture is being made fun of. We've been saying that we're over sexual. We only put on these costumes to be revealing. We are not, we look like peacocks. Our costume has been made fun of, but when it's beneficial, they're used for gain. And it's predominantly African Americans that are doing so. So I just feel like it's a flip coin, like it's very much so biased that African Americans mostly feel like their culture is the only one that can be appropriated, whereas they are often appropriating a lot of other cultures. Point 8, Nicki Minaj is Trinidadian, and it's almost as if, even though she's Trinidadian, she's so indulged in the American culture. She actually grew up in America, that she claims Trinidad, but she speaks in a Jamaican accent. She gives off and goes with Jamaican artists to make music. She sings in a Jamaican accent to give up her Caribbean essence. She also goes around with that kind of persona, a Jamaican persona. She is Trinidadian. It's almost as if it's for show, it's for publicity, it's for, just for the glitz and the glamour. Our culture is not supposed to be used for this purpose. If you're indulging in the culture and you're enjoying it, do it for wholeheartedly, like you love your own culture. But if you're going to use the most popular culture or the one that you feel like will get you the most gain, then you're not doing it genuinely. Another case is one that's kind of crazy to me, came up on Twitter. DDG, another African American artist, he was mentioned and he was like, bumper clot. I don't know if I can say this, but that's what he was like, bumper clot.
Bomber clap.
And now it came up on Twitter as a trend. Their takes on situations that they feel like people would not agree with. Like it's not socially normal or to that. Either which way, bumper clot is not used that way. That is not how you use the word. That's not how the word is being used culturally. That is not what it means. It was just taken, it's like you say, it's like the word is completely used incorrectly, and there was just a bunch of threads of people stating things that their little takes and bits on topics that had nothing to do with the state. So it's like now you're using it as a trend and it has nothing to do with the word at all. You just decided to take that word and use it anyhow you feel like. It's just really. At this point, I just feel like we need to be more conscious of what we're doing and not just take people's culture and use it as fun takes and fun little bits and not actually, consider how people may feel about it. Because African American culture is not the only culture. Nicki Minaj dresses up as a Harajuku Barbie all the time. Like, she's not a ninja or she's not Asian. So it's like she also often does this like Asian theme. A lot of people actually do dress up in that Asian like attire, and I think that's a traditional attire and have no care in the world for it. Like, there's so many things that we use and cover it as fashion or beauty industry, and it's really just appropriation. And I really wish that we could like look into that and actually not do it anymore. Please, just stop. Like, I understand if you want to, experience something, but there's ways about going about experiencing people's culture without appropriating it. You don't need to use it and gain from it and not give, and it also takes away from us as people, because we're being bashed so much about it, and then you're gonna use it for your own gain. It's crazy. Like,
as I've learned from my case studies in Texas versus Johnson, the flag burning case, not because something offends a large body of people means that it's worth taking away someone's First Amendment right to free speech, especially over the media. And again, in West Virginia versus Barnett, we learn not because something has an important symbolic meaning to you means that it has to have the same meaning for someone else. Rather worse, forcing that meaning down someone's throat, it may leave a bitter and sour taste rather than portraying the meaning that you're trying to implement. It's definitely not worth taking away someone's First Amendment right to speak on how they view something, especially because this person's perspective does not change what this symbol means to us and our culture.
Anyways, that was just my little take on how our culture is being appropriated. I just really want us to be mindful of what we do, say, and act. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of a season. Have fun, drink responsibly, and just enjoy overall.